Morning. Thursday morning, November 11th, Veterans Day, the last live stream of this week. Good morning to everyone. Jim and Kathy, good to see you this morning. Welcome on this foggy morning. It's absolutely beautiful out here. Daryl and Suzanne, good morning. Steve and Andrea, welcome this morning. Good morning, Mom. Good to see you. Wendy and Jeremy, good morning. Barbara Richardson, good morning to you. Welcome today. We'll wait for a couple more names to show up. We're up to 11 now in the counter. Janisa, good morning. Jonathan, good morning to you. Dale Wiebe, good morning. Dana Kreshock. Dale, are you watching from Florida or are you in California? Carmen, good morning to you. Barbara Del Rio, welcome this morning. I was in Ecclesiastes this morning, but I don't think I'm going to talk about that today. I have been pondering this idea of the importance of having a fully integrated life. So sometimes we are prone to compartmentalizing our faith. What I mean by that is we think about the spiritual nature of our lives and how God is very concerned about our knowledge of Him, our relationship with Him, and how our knowledge of God and His plan for all of humanity and eternity should weigh on my values today. And it affects how I treat people, and it affects my personal well-being, my view of the world, my level of contentedness, fulfillment. How do I handle challenges in life? The spiritual component kind of informs all of those areas. And so we see its integration, but we often look at the spiritual integration into our life as mostly perspective and how it relates relationally to one another. And it gives us a unique perspective about God, about our world, about what happens after this life, that kind of thing, as well as it helps us to love one another in ways that are deeper than we are personally able to do. And so it's easy to think about our spirituality in these terms, but the message about God and the message and God's desire for us, it really encapsulates every aspect of our life. He's concerned about the whole person. He's concerned about everything we do. The Bible addresses all aspects of life. In addition to kind of our spiritual awareness, it addresses our relational, how to relate to one another. We've talked about that a little bit. It relates to how we are to work, how we are to handle our finances, how we are to live and walk in integrity in our social interactions with the world. The Bible talks about our interactions with our environment. We are caretakers of our world, and we are given the stewardship of the earth, of our planet. And so how we conduct our lives, our choices, affect other people's lives and so on in a non-relational sense, but still connected because we are all a part of the same environment and social structure and so on. And so when we think about discipleship, often we think about learning Bible verses, learning theology, learning how to relate to God, and then how to love people. And those are the main commandments. But God clearly, when you read Scripture, He is concerned with every part of our life, all aspects. And every part of our life, we communicates something, right? It communicates, if we have a really robust understanding of who God is in our lives, and we are integrating Him fully into all aspects of our life, then all aspects of our life can communicate the gospel message. You know, how we work at our jobs, how we conduct ourselves in our own households. Am I caring for my environment? Am I caring for my physical health? These types of things. And so I think it's important for us to take time regularly to examine all of these aspects of our lives and see where there are things that we're just doing great, no problem, no worries, and then there are areas of our life that may be underdeveloped or neglected. And then we have to kind of raise our awareness of those areas and do something about it, so that recognizing that all of these components aren't individual compartmentalized parts of our lives, but they're actually all integrated and affect one another. You know, my spiritual awareness of God's overarching plan affects my choices, how I conduct myself in the world, and how my perspective on how I interpret my experiences, right? My emotional health, my awareness of my own feelings, and how I manage negative feelings affects me physically. So if I am dealing with a lot of anxiety and stress, and I don't manage those things in a healthy way, it'll start affecting me physically. I feel my emotions in my body. I feel stress and anxiety. It's like a burning sensation right here in the center of my chest and my being. It feels like it's like this slow burn in me when I'm dealing with anxiety. And if I'm not getting to the bottom of those things and allow God to enter that space in my life, it's going to start affecting me physically. If I'm not eating right, it affects my mental health, right? My intellect, my creativity. So if I'm eating fatty foods and sugary foods and so on, it's going to affect my mental acuity. If I am not, you get the point. All of these things interrelate in our lives. God is concerned for the whole person, all aspects of who we are. And it's just important that we stop and pay attention to these areas we think are less important. We may not pay attention to the kinds of food we eat. We only eat what we like, right? We don't eat with the mindset that, wow, what I could be eating is going to affect me, my energy levels, my mental clarity. If I don't sleep enough, right? If I'm just neglecting sleep, I'm up late at night because I'm doing social fun things, or I'm just watching TV late into the night. It's going to affect me physically, and it's going to affect me relationally, how I relate to other people, because I'm overly tired, I'm not getting enough sleep. You see how all of these things are integrated, fully integrated in all aspects of who we are. God is concerned with all of those things. He addresses those things in a holistic way in the Word of God. And I was just reflecting on that today. I think it's important that we take evaluation of that on a regular basis. And for me, more recently, I've been paying attention more to nutritional things. I've joked around. I'm an emotional eater. I eat the things that make me feel good, make me feel happy. And I am, as I become more emotionally aware, I'm realizing that I need to have better, more healthy coping mechanisms, self-soothing tools in my life besides food. And so I have endeavored to eat fewer sugary or sweet things, and I'm trying to incorporate more vegetables in my life. It seems like all the other things I eat are good. They're healthy. They're not bad, but I have a pronation to grabbing a hold of something that's sweet and sugary and it's good. It makes me feel good. And I don't have a strong appetite for vegetables, so I generally don't eat them, right? So I'm trying to incorporate more of those because it's going to make me feel better overall. It's going to increase my mental capacity, which affects how I do my job, how I relate to people, all the integrative parts of it. So that's one thing that I've been paying attention to more recently. And also just being more aware of my tracking my financial part of my life. I start to think about that at this time of my life. Is like, am I putting enough aside for the future? The Bible talks about this too. Am I making sure that I'm able to live when I've gotten past the part where I can't work anymore, at least to the same capacity that I work today. At some point, I'm going to need to work less. So do I have enough money put aside for that, part of my life? That's just good stewardship of our life. God is concerned about that kind of stuff. And so I'm trying to pay more attention to my financial choices, making sure that I'm laying up for the future and have money for projects at our house, or eventually we need to replace a vehicle, things like that. Just financial health. I'm just making the point that as we sit today, take some time and into this weekend. This is our last live stream for this week, so we have several days before we touch base again on Monday. Is take some time and evaluate these areas. There are 6 for me. The turkeys are up on the hill over here. I don't know if you can hear them. So the 6 that I always kind of keep track of are my physical wellness, my emotional wellness, my intellectual wellness, my relational wellness, my financial wellness, and my spiritual wellness. Obviously not all in that order, but those are the 6 areas that I'm always tracking, like gauges on the dash of my car. Where's the needle in all these areas? Is there an area I need to pay more attention to, so that because it can positively or negatively affect other areas of my life. I want to be used of God in all capacities. I want nothing to be holding me back because I'm neglecting some part of my well-being. I want God to invade and integrate into everything. I want to give him my finances, my emotional health, my physical health, my intellectual wellness. I want to be a good steward of all of these things. And so take some time today, if you had a chance, over the next few days, to take those 6 areas and say, how am I doing? Do I have deep, meaningful relationships with people in my relational health, right? So if not, if there's lacking there, what maybe a goal or 2 that I could set steps right now to begin to build more deep relationships. And just take each category and ask some of those questions. Where are you at? And how are we promoting our own wellness so that we can be used of God in greater ways? So that's the thought for today. We will see you on Monday morning. If you're here locally, I encourage you to come to Grace, be a part of our worship services as we worship together in person, if you're able to. If not, watch online. And also, I said it at the very outset, but I'll say it in conclusion as well. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for all those who I know are part, like Mike Stromberg, Steve Hauser, others who are veterans. Thank you for your service, honoring veterans today. So be blessed today. We'll see you on Sunday or Monday. Talk to you later.